Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. Watched a video where a question was asked, if you could only have one firearm for the rest of your life, what would it be? And of course the question was being answered. And man, what a tough question, huh? You know, it was one of them deals where, you know, folks were being tagged, and I thought I would participate as well, even though I think it's just about the hardest question that I could answer in the firearm world. And for those of you that's been around my channel for a little while, then you've probably seen a variety of firearms, and that's because I enjoy a variety of firearms. And in order to pick just one firearm would be just so difficult. You know, I've been shooting since I was a young man, but I've also participated in many activities that have to do with firearms. Firearms and shooting, it really is a significant part of my life, and it always has been since I was very young. You know, I've said before that I've shot in competitions, and I have, and I've enjoyed them since I was a young man. I've also enjoyed hunting and just all types of activities that involve the use of a firearm. I also believe that, you know, whenever possible, when it's legal, you should carry a firearm. And in order to do that, you have a responsibility to develop skill to use that firearm. So there's a wide variety of activities that's always been a part of my life. Now, when you start thinking about, well, if you could only have one gun, you know, what would you choose? How would you choose? Well, you know, some people, I'm sure, are going to look at versatility, and they're going to make their choice based off of the versatility of a firearm that maybe they have. There are other folks that's going to pick a gun that's very comfortable to them, something that they have a lot of confidence with. And that's also a good choice, right? It's a good answer. There's some people that's going to choose a firearm that has a personal connection to them. And again, that's a very good answer. See, I don't think there's any wrong answers in these types of things. It's just interesting to hear the process that people use to make their choice. You know, for versatility, for the fact that I like to hunt and I like to target shoot and things of that nature, versatility may be something that I look towards, right? Here's a rifle that has a great amount of versatility. And I know you're thinking, well, that's just a bolt-action rifle. Yes, it is, but it's a Sauer 202. And the 202 has the ability to change calibers, and you can get different bolts and barrels and magazines for a wide variety of chamberings to allow you quite a bit of versatility with this rifle. Now, I admit I don't have any of those because they're really expensive. But if I didn't have all the guns that I had, and I was putting all my stock into one hunting rifle, so to speak, I would probably have some different barrel and bolt combinations to enjoy the versatility of this rifle. So that may be a choice for some folks. But you know, you really want to talk about versatility in rifles, it's really hard to beat the AR-15 carbine, isn't it? I mean, there's so much available for this carbine. Length of barrel, chamberings, uppers. It's mind-boggling, all the choices that you have. Just myself, I have between a 20-inch AR-15 barrel to this 14.5 or 14 3/4, whatever it is, with the pinned-in 16, might as well say 16-inch carbine. But I also have, this is 5.56. This happens to be a Noveske AR-15, really a top shelf AR. But I also have the ability to shoot 22s. I have the ability to shoot a 50 Beowulf, 6mm SPC. And that's just some of the uppers that I have. But you can also get 7.62 by 39 or .300 Blackout, which is becoming quite popular today. So there's lots of options. 5.7. There's lots of options. 9mm, 45. There's all types of options for the AR-15. If you were going to make a choice based off of versatility, that would be an outstanding choice, wouldn't it? Now, handguns can be very similar in that some handguns have an ability for more versatility than maybe some others. Here's an example of a firearm that has some versatility. This is the Smith & Wesson M&P, and this one happens to be in 40 Smith & Wesson. But I have a 9mm barrel, and I have a 357 SIG barrel. And I know that you can buy the slide and magazine in order to shoot .22 long rifle. So for a handgun, if it was going to be your choice, you might want to look at something with versatility, right? Now, there's plenty of guns out there that have the same or even more versatility than this one, but this is an outstanding firearm, and I wanted a if I was going to pick a handgun, it would have to be at least a service-size handgun, because they're just, I like them better than the subcompacts and other things that are out there. But this is an example of a firearm with some versatility. But for me to even give any serious consideration to such a question as having one gun for the rest of your life, it's just hard. It's really, I'm down to 2 firearms, and I believe that I could make do with those 2 firearms. But I couldn't imagine just having only one of them. Now, both of these guns you've seen quite a bit, and I'm going to show it to you again. Here is an M1 Garand in 30-06. Now, the rifle itself, you would say, is pretty much pigeonholed. It is what it is, right? But it does have a good amount of versatility. With an 8-round semi-automatic, it could be pressed into service as a defensive firearm. I think it could still fill that role to a degree. And I've hunted with this firearm many times, so I know that it can be a good hunting firearm. 30-06 is a pretty versatile rifle round. Now, I also know that you can adapt this gun to shoot 308 and 223 and 358 Winchester and chamberings like that. I'm sure you could make, I don't know if anybody makes a barrel for anything like 270 or something, but if they did, that would add some versatility to this gun. I know it'll do the 308 size of chamberings because I have an M1 Garand in 308. My father and I converted it. But this would be my rifle. This has that personal connection. My father built this gun for me when I was a small boy. And if I can get it to show up, put a plaque on here. And maybe, yeah. To my son Van from Dad. 1968. So this gun has a good bit of purpose, and it also has that personal connection that I just could not imagine ever not owning this firearm. Now, the next handgun also has that personal connection. This is a 1911. Now, 1911s have a little bit of versatility to them, and that you can set up a 1911 to shoot 22s, 9mm, 38 Super, 10mm, all types of different rounds. This one is in 45. This is a gun that my father and I built. This was the first time that my father really let me take the lead on building a 1911. And I was 17 years old. And we had an opportunity to work on several guns, friends' guns and things of that nature, but the 1911 platform I understand well. I have more parts for a 1911 than you can shake a stick at. And I could very easily set up a slide to shoot other chamberings. So this gun could provide a great deal of versatility. I never did that because I just built another gun, or I built another gun, or I bought a gun, or I bought a gun. But the 1911 does have a great amount of versatility as that defensive tool that you can carry, as that competitive tool that you can enjoy. And to be honest with you, it's hard to beat the 1911 platform. For folks that talk about reliability, for folks that understand the 1911 and tinker successfully on their 1911s, this firearm right here hasn't had a malfunction in decades. Now, I've had parts break down, and I had to replace a leaf spring after so many thousand rounds and things of that nature, but the gun is very, very reliable. It's very accurate. And this would be my choice if I could only have that one handgun. So how would I choose between the two? I don't know that I could, but being someone who believes in the American rifleman, I would probably lean towards the M1 Garand. This is an outstanding rifle, folks. I know y'all were probably hoping to see some new space age technology, firearms and things of that nature. But when I start melting the importance of firearms down and the importance to me firearms have, I really can't imagine life without these two firearms right here. They've been an important part of my life. This one since I was 3 years old, and this one since I was a teenager. I understand these weapon platforms very well. I understand that there's a degree of versatility with them. I also understand that they are outstanding platforms for many different applications. So I'm going to have to leave the video at that, folks. I know I've probably talked longer than you wanted to listen to me. But I always appreciate you folks stopping by and watching my videos. I thank you for that. And remember to shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.